Sinatra took it badly, did he not?
Yes, Sinatra took it badly because Dean had died before.
Yeah.
How do you think Sammy should be remembered?
Well, from my standpoint, he should be remembered as one of the finest human beings I ever knew in my life. And of course, multi-talented. He was a wonderful, wonderful boy.
Sinatra came and Liza came and the Sinatra family came.
How did Sammy deal with Dean's death?
Sammy, I think Sammy dealt badly about it. I mean, he wanted Dean not to leave when they were doing
They toured again.
They toured together. And he really talked him into it and talked him into staying, but after that one morning, Dean was just gone. But Sammy was the one that talked to him. Frank didn't talk to Dean.
Frank was mad, right?
He was, well, yeah, just
Dean,
a tad bit.
Frank could get angry.
Oh, yes.
He and Sammy had some differences at times, didn't they?
At times, yes. They always had differences, but there was a love-hate relationship. They were like brothers.
Has Sinatra's friendship remained constant?
Always. It has been there even when we weren't speaking. It was there. Because he didn't like my lifestyle. And he would not be dictatorial, but word got back to me and just said, Frank says he wants, you know, he doesn't want to go near you as long as you're into this and you're into that, and what are you doing with your life? And he doesn't. And subsequently, the girls, the ladies, I should say, Barbara Sinatra and Altovise, my wife of 19 years, they were responsible for getting the two of us back together again for a sit-down where we had dinner at Caesar's Palace. And I made a commitment to him then, and I'm the better for it, because I knew the man that spent, at that point in time, almost 30 years in caring about me.
They always got back together again.
And Sammy was like the bridge between Frank and Dean, right?
Yes.
When there were differences there, he was
when there were differences of opinion, he was the intermediary there.
Altovise Davis is our guest, the widow of Sammy Davis Jr. We'll be right back.
Challenging. It's number one.
Call in hell, call in heaven. It's a probable 12 to 7 that the guy's only doing it for some dough.
Was there ever a problem with egos working around people like Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and Jerry Lewis in light of the Martin and Lewis feud for so long? Do you think they'll ever make up?
Well, that's kind of two questions in one. How about the ego problem? Do you have an ego problem?
No. There has never been an ego problem with Frank. I've never felt one. As a matter of fact, when I was still an opening act, he was doing this to me, saying, hey, we all go together. That's the way it is.
We're back discussing the life and times of the late Sammy Davis Jr., gone now almost 12 years. Was Frank supportive after his death?
After his death, you know that Frank was starting to get sick himself.
It's still a long way from going.
Oh yeah, a long way from going. I mean, I would talk to them. I saw them occasionally for dinner, and I would take Manny to dinner, and I'd also see little Nancy and big Nancy.
The first?
Yeah, the first Nancy.
I mean, but did Frank call a lot? Did he come over a lot? Did he?
He didn't come over a lot. No, I guess maybe that brought back memories, but he did call me every once in a while.
I always wanted to sing with the delicacy and the sensitivity of Frank Sinatra. So that part of it, long before we became buddies, I always looked up at him. I took it too far. You know, I became, by public opinion, I think, a fawning dog at the feet of the masters. But it was not at the behest of Sinatra. He never wanted me to act that way. He treated me as an equal. I wouldn't accept the equality.
He used to tell me that Frank used to, after they used to play at the Sands, they used to, you know, afterwards they would do a movie, and then they'd do a nightclub, and then they'd go out and hang out. And
Ocean's 11 was made all the time.
All the time at the Sands, and Sammy sang the last song, EO 11. And then sometimes Frank would say, come on now, we're going to listen to this. And he'd let him listen to opera. He said, and that's what we'd sit there and listen to opera. And he said, sometimes I wanted to go out and boogie and dance and, you know, cajole around and drink and smoke and have fun.
Sammy also drank a lot. How did you handle that?
I handled it because at that time he handled it.
Were you an alcoholic?
Well, I don't think an alcoholic in the sense that everyone thinks of an alcoholic. I think I was dependent upon it. Like, I'd get up in the morning and all of the cliches that go along with it, an eye opener, a little bit of the snake that bit you, all of that. And I had to have that little shot before I went on the stage. And I had a liver problem, and I almost died 3.5 years ago. And the good doctors and people of medicine saved me.
He never had to go to Betty Ford.
No, he didn't go to Betty Ford.
But he drank a lot.
He drank a lot.
He had what we might say a personality that lent itself to needs.
Yes.
And he had enormous needs, didn't he, Sammy?
Oh, yes.
Need to be on stage, need to please.
Well, I think when he was on stage, he gave 110%.
You've worked a lot with Jerry Lewis.
Yes.
And that seems an unusual booking only in that the two of you are such total entertainers. One is surprised. Who opens?
Well, there is no opening. We both open up together. We both hit the stage at the same time. We do about, depending on the reaction from the audience, we do 15 to 20 minutes together. Then I proceed to take over for 40 to 45 minutes. Jerry comes back out. I rejoin him. We do some more together, and we end together. But the whole concept of Jerry and I working together was based upon the fact that we wanted Larry to do the kind of Las Vegas show business that the town was built on.
We're a couple of guys together once again who entertain and act insane like any grown-up man.
The kind of free-form, have fun, no computerized jazz going on, but let the audience join into the fun and thank the good Lord it worked. And no egos, man. That was the first thing we both decided upon.
We'll be back with more of Altovise Davis. Don't go away.
It says, love, there's us, Sam. That's from Ping and from the Little Black Jew.
I want to thank the NAACP for this award.
Put me down. Put me down. It's an embarrassment.
Push the button.
Push the button. Push the button. I know.